so much is made about Kennedy Martin. We talked about her already. Jillian Grimes, 4-year player for Katie Schumacher-Cawley, 3-year starting libero, gives Penn State a real lift in more ways than one defensively in the back row. And on the other side for the Michigan Wolverines, this is a team that has really been anchored by their middle blockers all season long. Serena Nyambio and Jenna Haynes have been rock solid, haven't hit any kind of dip or midseason slump, as we learned from head coach Aaron Virtue earlier today. So I guess to start, Mac, how do you game plan for a hitter like Kennedy Martin?
It is quite tough to game plan for Kennedy Martin. She's going to go off. That's one thing you've got to realize about Martin is she's going to get her kills. So you've got to game plan for everybody. You got to look big picture with Penn State. Be ready to play defense against their whole team, and then do what you can to slow Kennedy Martin down where you can.
You can only hope to contain her, it seems. Kennedy Martin averaging over 5 kills and 6 points per set. First season with the Nittany Lions, played her first 2 seasons of college volleyball at Florida, and she has taken the Big Ten by storm out of State College. And there is Serena Nyambio, the senior from nearby Troy, Michigan, one of the anchors in the middle for the Wolverines. Both these teams playing good volleyball as we close out the month of October. And Addie Lyon, the Penn State setter, with an ace serve to get us going, and that's a pretty good start for the road team.
That is one way to start a match right there. I mean, good float serve by Addie Lyon. She dropped that off right in front of the passer, making it really hard to get outside. It looks like the libero is also trying to take a little bit more of that seam away from Allison Jacobs there.
Followed by a service error for Addie Lyon after picking up her 18th ace of the season. And Ella Demetrician, the sophomore from Appleton, Wisconsin, about a half hour south of Green Bay, with the first serve of the night for the home team Wolverines. Lions first pass to guess who? Kennedy Martin, and she missed a little bit long. An attack error for Kennedy Martin right out of the chute, Point Michigan. So she's human. She's human.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. I think Demetrician here is trying to aim for Emmy Selman with this serve, trying to put that right in her lap, cause chaos over there.
Right back to Kennedy Martin, a roll shot dug by the Michigan libero, Maddie Cochran. The swing from Samara Gordon, and a great play made by Grimes out of bounds. Cochran, another dig on Martin, tapped down in the middle by Gabrielle Nichols, the middle blocker for the Nittany Lions. Great dig by Kennedy Martin, and it's swept over by Emmy Selman. Great early point here, and it's Selman who shuts down Allison Jacobs, the very talented outside hitter for Michigan. Point, Penn State.
That was a massive block from Emmy Selman right there. That is one downfall to the speed of Michigan. If there's a blocker set up in the spot where your hand is going to cross the net, you're going to get blocked more often than not.
Selman serves after a big solo block a moment ago. This one rainbows out of play, Point Michigan.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge key for Penn State is their defense in the backcourt. Michigan's offense is run really fast, so sometimes that ball is going to get outside of the block. So their backcourt defense needs to be really solid.
Aaron Virtue in her 3rd season. The Michigan Wolverines coming in after 2 wins last weekend on the road, knocking off arch rival Ohio State and then sweeping Illinois. Aaron Virtue called it probably her team's most complete game of the season. Certainly 10 play. That ball was walloped by Kennedy Martin, her first kill of the night.
That cross-court swing from Kennedy Martin is lethal and so hard to defend. You don't put a person there for that.
Tempting to just get out of the way.
I mean, it's coming in that hot, you might as well.
Certainly has been a lot of fun coaching a player of Kennedy Martin's caliber for head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley, and she's coached several amazing players in her 4 seasons at Penn State and played with many as well. But for now, still very early, Mac. A good start for Michigan. Definitely, even though they're the home team, the uphill battle tonight against the top 25 Penn State team.
For sure, running everything all over the place, trying to work in some back row attacks and keeping that tempo will be huge for Michigan. It adds a different layer to their offense, just working that ball around.
Ella Demetrician with the kill for Michigan, and a big swing from Alexis Ewing, the freshman from Maryland. And on that note, Mac, let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Discover. What do you have?
Penn State needs to get their middles involved. They need to get other positions involved other than Kennedy Martin, because that's how they're going to take over a whole game. And then the other side, Michigan needs to know that Martin's going to score. She's going to get hers just like that. But there's other players on this court that they can't let take over the game completely. So slow Martin down as much as they can, but Michigan's really got to be honed in on everybody on the Penn State side.
It's a new career high for Kennedy Martin, her 32nd ace of the season, and she goes back-to-back. Rocking and rolling behind the service line, Kennedy Martin.
This little ace dance that happens after she scores a point, too, might be my new favorite thing in the Big Ten right now.
That is a wicked serve, looking at it from the end line especially. A tapper from Allison Jacobs. Here's Ewing with the swing. Kept alive by Demetrician. And the ball in the middle clubbed by Jenna Haynes. Point Wolverines.
Jenna Haynes and Camille Edwards' connection is really strong over there for Michigan. Coach Virtue talked about how the two of them have really picked up on their connection and they work really well together. So it's huge that Jenna Haynes is up with Camille Edwards for 2 rotations.
It's a big bomb of a serve from Allison Jacobs. It's out by not by much. And you mentioned the serving and I should say the setting rather of Camille Edwards. Michigan running a 6-2 offense. Camille Edwards, the second setter in the 6-2. Morgan Burke, the starting setter for Michigan. Wolverines have wanted to run a 6-2 all season long, but they haven't been able to for a big chunk of the middle portion of this season because of injuries to their depth setters. But everyone's healthy now, and that 6-2 is back in operation.
Yeah, it's nice for Michigan to have all 18 players healthy. They can really work on that connection. And I mean, it's on display right now with Jenna Haynes and Camille Edwards.
Grimes the dig on the swing from Sydney Schnickels. Schnickels gets it again. Kept alive by Lyon, the setter. Over to Martin now. And she tools the block, point Penn State.
Wow, an out-of-system set for Kennedy Martin in the back row. That's a difficult thing to time up right there, but she does a fantastic job keeping her feet behind the line and then still broad jumping into that ball, going to get it out in front of her.
2 kills for Martin. And the serve from Jordan Hopp, the middle blocker, that rides the tape and falls down on Michigan's side, point Penn State.
I think that ball could have been managed a little bit better by Edwards and then also by the middle there, trying to tip something over. Nyambio just getting a hand on that one would have helped the Michigan side out just a little bit.
Hopp again. That's out. Point Michigan.
Point Michigan.
Jordan Hopp has the tendency to get underneath that ball sometimes, and that's exactly what happened right there. Her toss wasn't high enough so she could hit the back of the ball. She got underneath it, and then that ball just keeps soaring out of bounds.
So Morgan Burke in to serve for Michigan, the starting setter, and with the double sub, Samara Gordon also into the game in the front row for Michigan. She digs that attack by Penn State. Cochran takes out her own teammate, but makes the dig, and Demetrician wins the point for Michigan.
That's a smart tip there by Demetrician. That donut or middle of the court area is pretty wide open. Kennedy Martin is really far down the line, so she's going to have a tough time making that play. Then Emmy Selman's not getting all the way there.
That's an ace serve from Michigan junior Morgan Burke out of Omaha.
Morgan Burke is one of the best servers on Michigan's team. She's so consistent with her serve. It is flat and clean. That ball barely nicks the top of the tape and goes right over.
It's another good one there. Cross-court swing, and as Cochran digs the ball, point Penn State on the net violation.
That's one of the worst situations right there in volleyball, I swear. When you get a crazy dig like that, that was a fabulous dig by Cochran. Then your teammates are just a little too eager there up at the net. You got to stay in control of that.
Gordon was in the net. Lyon the serve. Burke, the overpass cleaned up by Kennedy Martin. Point Penn State. Another net violation, I guess, but the point to the Nittany Lions either way.
Either way, yep. Good eyes by Kennedy Martin there. You can see how she starts off the net right there, and then that gives her the advantage to be able to go and hit that ball because she's already off the net.
Lyon serves Cochran. Burke on the slide to Nyambio. Demetrician Michigan block unable to shut down Emmy Selman.
That was a very fast tempo set from Lyon to Selman right there. That's a little bit faster than I feel like I've seen them go this season. It almost seems like they might be trying to speed that ball up to Selman here. It did die inside, so I'd love to see Lyon push it out a little bit further.
Lyon with the serve, and it just doesn't roll over. Point Michigan as the Wolverines hang around here still early in the first set, 12-10 Penn State.
I would expect Ella Demetrician to try and serve Emmy Selman here, but I think the libero is going to try and poach this in front of her.
You're absolutely right. Your former teammate Jillian Grimes does that. Martin offers up a free ball to Michigan. Cochran, that's tight to the net, and it's dunked down by the 6'6" Kennedy Martin.
I mean, most of the time she's going to be over top of you right there, so if that ball comes high, it doesn't take much for Kennedy Martin to absolutely slam that ball straight down. I like that Cochran's trying to go high and tight and let her offense go be offensive and aggressive, but just a little too tight on that one.
Burke sets Gordon. That's down in the back row. Point Michigan. Gordon's second kill of the set.
That's a very fast offense run right there, even to the right side. I think the emphasis is on the outside sets being really fast, but that ball to Samare Gordon right there was really fast. It didn't allow the block to really get there in time.
Gordon is starting her third straight match for Michigan. Big swing from Alexis Ewing, and Gordon on the opposite side with the block.
Samare Gordon was really pressed over on that ball. High reach, but if she brings this ball down like that, you can see her kind of lean into that. It makes it very easy for the block to go get it.
Good blocking numbers for Michigan at about 2.5 per set, but this time Penn State returns the favor. It's Ewing and Nichols up front for the Nittany Lions.
Ewing and Gordon are going back and forth with these blocks here. I mean, one for Gordon, one for Ewing there. I think those hands pressed over is all it takes, being pressed over early before that attacker.
That's an ace serve for Penn State.
Jillian Grimes has a really tough serve. It's flat, it's clean, it drops off in front of you, or it rises up last second. Fabulous serving by the Penn State.
She kills in her last 4 attempts. Camille Edwards with the serve for Michigan. Lyon, her counterpart, sets the middle, and Jordan Hopp made that work. Point Penn State.
Whatever works, you don't get style points. So sometimes just a wonky misconnect tip over the net is all you got to do to make it work. It looks like there's a little bit miscommunication on the spot there. Jordan Hopp is either too far in or Addie Lyons set that too wide. They'll definitely communicate about that.
That is an intimidating serve from Kennedy Martin. Underhanded over by Allison Jacobs. Michigan on the attack again. That's Jenna Haynes, dug by Martin, who averages over 2 digs per set. And the attack error by Ewing gives Michigan the point.
The tip short there is really smart by Michigan. When you tip that ball short up and over the block, making Kennedy Martin have to fall on the floor to play that ball, she's not going to be up in time to go take a swing. So then you have to defend the other half of the court. You know that Kennedy Martin's not going to get the ball, and it opens things up for your defense.
Hopp drills that ball. What a dig by Cochran. Dumped over by Lyon, and Cochran all over the floor. Grimes unable to answer. The point for Michigan, and Cochran's up to 7 digs already.
Jordan Hopp down the line is a tough swing right there. She comes in hot and heavy with a ton of power. Maddie Cochran is everywhere right now. She's playing down the line really well, but being heads up on Addie Lyon like she needs to be.
Service error, and the point to Penn State. Jacobs, the 6th-year senior, started her career at UCLA, has really blossomed in the last 2 seasons in Ann Arbor. Jocelyn Nathan into serve for Penn State. She serves short to Jacobs. And what a pancake by Grimes. Cochran can't dig the swing from Selman. Point Penn State.
That serve from Joss Nathan was pretty easy right there. It was right in the passer's lap. I'd like to see her go a little bit more aggressive. It forced Jillian Grimes to have to make a crazy save like that, but then Emmy Selman out of system right here, getting her feet to that ball and catching Cochran off guard.
Nathan too short there, but how many times have we seen spectacular plays like the one Jillian Grimes just made, closing in on 1,500 career digs now in her senior season for the Nittany Lions.
Jilly G is a boss libero.
This is Trixie McMillan serving for Michigan. From the back row, Martin plants it, her 5th kill.
That's one of those moments for Michigan where all 6 players need to know where Kennedy Martin is on the court. Everyone needs to have their own individual player in their eyes, but then they need to know where Kennedy Martin is at all times, because right there, both pin blockers released, leaving Kennedy Martin one-on-one in the middle. She's gonna win that more often than not.
And believe it or not, you can kind of forget about Martin out of the back row because of how dynamic she is at the right side, but that's a big swing from Ella Demetrician, the point to Michigan, as it's only a 2-point set here.
Yeah, that tempo from Michigan is really giving Addie Lyon, that Penn State block, a hard time. Addie Lyon is a little bit more undersized, so hitting over top of her is a really good strategy for Michigan.
That serve gave Selman a hard time from Morgan Burke on the free ball to Michigan. Nyambio punches that. It's dug by Nathan. Selman, way long, point Michigan.
Emmy Selman out of system right now is trying to do a little bit too much. She's trying to flatten that ball out really hard, but she's not finding the hands first. The key to hitting a high out of system ball is finding hands first and then flattening that ball out.
Martin, cross court, and she slices it out of bounds, point Michigan. As the Wolverines now have a legit chance to steal this first set.
Absolutely. Kennedy Martin going a little bit too sharp cross there. I'd like to see her just aim for that deep corner.
Selman terminates. Back row.
There's that tempo right there. Emmy Selman to the pin. That was very fast. She's over top of that block when she contacts this ball. They get caught up inside a little bit, causing them to be a little bit lower. Hands are just barely pressed over the net. Emmy Selman's over top of that block.
Jacobs the pass up to Burke. Demetrician is blocked. Nyambio tried to keep it alive, but Penn State wins the point.
Those are really strong pressed hands from Penn State. That ball came back and almost went under the net. So good on Penn State keeping their hands pressed over, because that is a very fast ball.
Timeout Michigan. Just 2 straight points for Penn State, but pivotal one. Kills, and yet they only trail by 2. Penn State with 6 errors, kind of allowing Michigan to hang around a little bit here. Addie Lyon trying to serve Penn State onto a 3-0 run. And she does a great job of that.
Addie Lyon earlier was dropping that ball short in front of the passing line, and this ball she served deep over the passer's shoulders. I'd like to see her mix it up. She might drop this one a little bit short here.
Lyon, the first-year Nittany Lion, but a grad senior. Demetrician puts it away. Her 4th kill.
Wow, Demetrician is really seeing the court very well right now. I mean, there's a block in her face, there's hands in her face, but she's knowing that she can flatten that ball out and find the deep corner there. She's very strong down the line, but that's a solid swing cross court.
Martin, dug by Cochran. Burke over to Jacobs, dug by Grimes. Here's Martin. And that's a point for Penn State.
These liberos are out here putting on a defensive clinic. I mean, both sides. Maddie Cochran making some incredible digs, but Jilly Grimes, wow. That put them in a great position to let Martin go and take absolute care of that ball.
Selman serves. Jacobs. Not even Grimes can get to that one. Point Michigan, 23-21.
That's a very fast set and a very sharp attack right there. Jillian Grimes got a little bit caught behind the Penn State block there. I'd like to see her try and stay outside of the block to make that dig, because Allison Jacobs loves that sharp cross-court swing.
Jacobs' first kill of the night. Martin took something off it, and Cochran couldn't keep it up.
Penn State doesn't tip a ton of balls. They like to come in hard and hit the crap out of some of these balls. So when they take some off, you can find yourself back on your heels a little bit.
Michigan calls it second timeout. Kennedy Martin quietly with 7 kills, hitting .333, has.
It is crazy to me that Kennedy Martin quietly is 7 kills in the first set.
I completely agree. We'll see how this one plays out, and good news, 2 more games around the corner as part of our Big Ten Network Volleyball triple header. How about this showdown coming up next? number 1 Nebraska, number 11 Wisconsin. That's next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app from Madison, and they certainly know how to celebrate Halloween on that college campus. But it's been Nebraska that's been scaring every opponent, to continue the pun, no matter in the Big Ten or non-conference. Just they've been dominant.
Nebraska is spooky to all of their opponents, that's for sure. But I'm excited to see that matchup tonight. I think it'll be a good game between the Badgers and the Huskers. We'll see how it goes. The matchup, the Reds on both sides, see how it goes in the field house.
Jillian Grimes serving, set point for Penn State. And it's an ace serve. Wow, Penn State was a load behind the service line in that first set. Grimes with her second ace alone. And Penn State takes set 1, 25-21 on the strength of 6 aces. And the Nittany Lions have been awfully good when taking that first set. To the second we go. Fun night.